Wines shaped tribes across endless sands. Caravans crossed ancient routes of faith. Sacred cities anchored every wandering soul. History breathed softly through desert silence. From Nod's heart emerged determined leaders. Early Saud alliances reshaped Arabian destiny. Old loyalties shifted with rising vision. A new order slowly took form. Mecca stood as humanity's spiritual compass. Medina guided hearts through prophetic legacy. Pilgrims carried unity across distant worlds. Faith forged identity deeper than borders. Mountains guarded culture with quiet strength. Harsh deserts taught resilience and honor. Oases nurtured trade, stories, and alliances. Geography sculpted politics for centuries. This journey begins with faithful footsteps. Power, alliances, and change move together. Kingdom rises from trials and transformation. Desert whispers guide us through time. Silent desert wines shaped destinies. Tribal roots stretched across ancient sands. Generations carried honor and resilience. Their lineage anchored deep Arabian history. Nomadic paths converged at fertile valley. Wadi Hanifa offered water and shelter. Tribal families sought stability and roots. Diriyah rose quietly beside palm groves. Harsh landscapes carved endurance and unity. Communities survived through trust and alliances. Bloodlines held memories of migrating ancestors. Strength flowed through tradition and duty. Diriyah became haven for wandering clans. Its mud brick walls guarded tribal life. Palm shade softened unforgiving desert glare. A new identity quietly began forming. Trade routes crossed by their settlement. Merchants carried stories from distant realms. Caravans brought opportunity and knowledge. Diriyah awakened to regional significance. Tribal elders preserved heritage with pride. Oral stories strengthened shared ancestral memory. Every generation honored forefathers' journeys. Legacy became foundation of emerging power. Harsh seasons tested loyalty and perseverance. Families endured droughts, storms, and scarcity. Unity became shield against shifting sands. Diriyah learned survival through cooperation. From humble beginnings, destiny gathered momentum. Ancestral spirit shaped future royal lineage. Desert roots prepared them for leadership. Diriyah waited for history to begin. Calm authority defined Muhammad bin Saud. His leadership grew through earned respect. Tribal elders recognized his steady wisdom. Diriyah found stability under his guidance. He resolved disputes with measured fairness. Every decision strengthened communal trust further. People saw unity through his actions. Loyalty formed naturally around strong leadership. Diriyah expanded through peaceful negotiations. Allied tribes embraced shared prosperity goals. Collaborations deepened bonds across desert plains. Muhammad bin Saud nurtured growing influence. He valued discipline within tribal ranks. Warriors trained with honor and restraint. Defense ensured safety for expanding settlements. His command balanced strength and diplomacy. Resources were managed with careful foresight. Agriculture improved under thoughtful planning. Trade networks reached neighboring communities gradually. Diriyah prospered through structured governance. Muhammad bin Saud inspired strategic confidence. His character blended firmness with humility. People admired fairness above tribal politics. Leadership grew naturally from moral grounding. Emerging power invited new opportunities. Diriyah became beacon for stability seekers. Tribal groups rallied behind trusted emir. Momentum gathered for transformative alliances. A new chapter waited in shadows. Change approached through faith and conviction. Leadership prepared for historic partnership. Destiny moved closer with every decision. The reformer arrived with unwavering conviction. His teachings called for spiritual renewal. Ideas challenged practices drifting from faith. Diriyah listened to rising religious voice. Muhammad bin Saud welcomed open dialogue. Mutual respect formed foundation of discussion. Their visions aligned through shared principles. Alliance promises emerged through sincere cooperation. The partnership united faith and governance. Religious reforms strengthened tribal discipline. People embraced return to sacred teachings. Community shaped around clarity and devotion. Teachings spread across central Arabian lands. Villages adopted renewed spiritual direction. Caravans carried message beyond local borders. Reform movement grew with remarkable momentum. The alliance reinforced political legitimacy strongly. Faith became backbone of tribal unity. Leaders found purpose through moral clarity. Dirior transformed into powerful spiritual center. Opposition challenged expanding movement forcefully. Disputes tested partnerships' resilience and resolve. Yet unity endured under shared values. Strength deepened amidst rising regional tension. Faith-guided rule offered structured governance. Justice aligned with sacred legal principles. Communities adhered to consistent moral frameworks. Leadership gained trust across broader regions. The alliance crystallized into formal power. 1744 marked foundation of new statehood. Dirior became heart of emerging authority. History shifted on desert sands quietly. Governance unified faith with administration. Laws followed clear religious guidelines strictly. Communities embraced order and stability. Leadership delivered justice across wide territories. Territorial expansion began through strategic campaigns. Tribal alliances strengthened political influence extensively. Regions joined growing central authority willingly. First Saudi state expanded with momentum. Military force ensured regional security. Warriors defended borders with discipline. Victories boosted confidence and legitimacy. Power spread across central Arabian lands. Economic systems improved under unified rule. Trade routes flourished with newfound safety. Merchants traveled confidently through secure regions. Prosperity flowed into developing capital Diriyah. Religious scholars shaped cultural environment. Teachings guided everyday community behavior. Faith influenced governance at every level. Identity strengthened around shared spiritual foundations. New state established diplomatic relationships cautiously. Neighboring tribes recognized expanding leadership. Alliances balanced power across desert territories. Political landscape evolved with rapid transformation. First Saudi state set lasting precedent. Its foundations shaped future Saudi governance. Legacy echoed through generations of rulers. Era ended, but impact remained permanent. Tribal honor remained central to society. Respect governed personal and communal conduct. Loyalties defined relationships between families. Identity rooted deeply in ancestry. Hospitality became cherished cultural value. Guests received generosity and protection. Sharing reinforced trust within communities. Kindness shaped social desert interactions. Bedouin traditions influenced daily customs. Poetry celebrated courage and loyalty. Stories preserved memory of ancient ancestors. Oral heritage shaped collective tribal identity. Roles distributed through cultural expectations. Leaders maintained unity during hardship. Warriors defended honor and territory. Merchants connected tribes through trade. Faith intertwined with social practice strongly. Religious teachings guided personal behavior. Moral discipline shaped entire tribal character. Community bonded through shared spiritual values. Stability depended on cooperation and trust. Intertribal alliances strengthened regional harmony. Shared threats united diverse tribal groups. Strength emerged from collective responsibility. This system shaped future national identity. Values endured across generations of Saudis. Desert culture molded foundations of kingdom. Early legacy prepared path for nationhood. The desert wines carried unified resolve. Tribal banners rose across widening horizons. Caravans whispered news of shifting power. A new force shaped Arabia's heart. Knowledge-scattered tribes felt rising influence. Local leaders pledged loyalty with caution. Old rivalries faded before shared purpose. A central authority slowly took form. Across dunes, riders delivered firm messages. Unification became mission, not ambition. Villages joined willingly for stability. Power expanded through trust and resolve. Eastern Arabia opened its guarded gates. Merchant towns recognized emerging strength. Trade routes gained long-awaited security. Coastal markets flourished under protection. Hijis watched changes with growing attention. Sacred routes needed guardianship again. Pilgrims desired safety on ancient paths. Authority moved closer to holy lands. Alliances shaped borders without bloodshed. Dialogues replaced centuries of conflict. Clans accepted order over uncertainty. Expansion followed discipline, not chaos. Town by town, unity felt inevitable. Leadership promised fairness for tribes. Desert law found structured governance. Arabia awakened under transforming rule. A vast territory finally interconnected. Roads linked regions long separated. Culture traveled faster than caravans. The first Saudi state stood ascendant. Authority rested on justice and clarity. Courts addressed disputes with consistency. Every tribe received equal consideration. Loyalty formed through fairness, not fear. Daily life followed structured principles. Scholars guided communities with wisdom. Markets operated under regulated safeguards. Order replaced tribal unpredictability peacefully. Religious learning shaped moral conduct. Mosques doubled as centers of guidance. Teachers preserved traditions with discipline. Knowledge flowed through desert communities. Political decisions stemmed from consultation. Leaders valued counsel from respected elders. Consensus maintained stability across regions. Rulers served as guardians, not overlords. Taxation remained balanced and predictable. Merchants trusted leadership's financial policies. Economic growth spread through caravan routes. Prosperity touched towns previously neglected. Military forces operated under strict code. Warriors defended rather than dominated lands. Campaigns aimed to protect emerging unity. Discipline kept armies honorable and restrained. Tribal identity blended into national vision. Clans kept customs within larger framework. Unity grew without erasing differences. Cultural harmony defined early governance. Tradition and reform walked together. Society strengthened through shared purpose. People embraced new direction confidently. The state matured with steady consistency. Ottoman envoys monitored desert movements. Reports warned of rising central authority. Local governors feared shrinking influence. Concerns echoed across distant imperial halls. Arabia's new order challenged old expectations. Autonomy spread faster than anticipated. Power balance shifted across strategic regions. Tension brewed beneath diplomatic politeness. Ottoman allies felt threatened by unification. Regional chiefs worried about authority loss. Rival interests fueled political resentment. Clouds gathered over desert autonomy. Letters traveled between Istanbul and Arabia. Requests demanded limits on territorial expansion. Responses remained firm, respectful always. Negotiations faltered under mutual suspicion. Rumors intensified along caravan networks. Fears magnified every small confrontation. Misunderstandings widened political distances quickly. Regional peace felt increasingly fragile. Strategic concerns shaped Ottoman thinking. Control over Hijaz remained a crucial issue. Pilgrimage routes meant deep imperial pride. Any challenge felt unacceptable to rulers. Pressure mounted across frontier territories. Troops prepared for possible large confrontations. Advisors urged decisive imperial response. Diplomacy slowly gave way to hostility. Arabia braced for inevitable escalation. Tensions reached point of irreversible consequences. Two visions for region collided dramatically. Conflict approached with unmistakable certainty. Egypt mobilized forces with calculated precision. Muhammad Ali sought imperial recognition. Arabia became target for political elevation. Campaign orders arrived with firm authority. Armies marched across Red Sea waters. Supplies followed along fortified fleets. Generals prepared strategies for desert combat. Momentum favored well-equipped invaders. Towns felt tremors of advancing armies. Communities braced for prolonged struggle. Resistance formed across scattered strongholds. Courage met overwhelming military pressure. Battles erupted under scorching desert sun. Local fighters utilized terrain with skill. Egyptian forces countered through disciplined formations. Conflict intensified across shifting fronts. Negotiations collapsed after early confrontations. Both sides hardened their positions firmly. Goals clashed beyond reconciliation or compromise. War became inevitable driving consequence. Egyptian cannons reshaped battlefield dynamics ruthlessly. Fortresses crumbled under heavy bombardment. Defenders fought with unwavering local resolve. Losses grew across heartbreaking engagements. Momentum favored Egypt with steady advance. Victories opened pathways toward Diriyah. Leadership struggled under growing exhaustion. Hope narrowed across fading defensive lines. Campaign moved toward decisive final confrontation. Arabia faced overwhelming, unavoidable imperial force. The conflict reached dramatic historical peak. Outcome would reshape Arabian destiny. Diriyah stood defiant against final siege. Walls echoed with determination and faith. Families prepared for darkest approaching hours. History paused within fortified valley. Egyptian forces tightened every surrounding hold. Cannons thundered across defensive barricades. Streets trembled with constant bombardment. Daylight brought relentless waves of attack. Defenders fought with unmatched perseverance. Every position became symbol of resistance. Courage outshone overwhelming enemy strength. Hope survived despite impossible circumstances, but destruction swept across ancient homes. Flames consumed memories of early unification. Dust carried echoes of collapsing defenses. Loss spread through the heartland. Final breaches shattered remaining strongholds. Invaders entered Diriyah with calculated resolve. Leadership fell after exhausting final struggle. Silence replaced centuries of tribal unity. Ottoman authority reclaimed threatened regions. Governors re-established pre-unification controls. Autonomy dissolved under imperial directives. Arabia entered uncertain political twilight. Families dispersed to distant safe havens. Leadership preserved legacy through survival. Hope retreated, but never fully vanished. Seeds of resurgence quietly endured. Fall marked end, but not conclusion. Memory kept early unity alive. Future generations carried unbroken purpose. Saudi destiny awaited its next rise. Riyadh waited in silent desert wilds. Old walls whispered memories of loss. Hope flickered through Nard's scattered tribes. A leader's return would change everything. Torquay moved with determined, quiet resolve. Each step reclaimed honor and memory. Riyadh called him back to destiny. He answered with courage and clarity. He rebuilt alliances through patient diplomacy. Tribal elders gathered under his banner. Broken bonds slowly returned to strength. Najd felt unity rising again. Riyadh transformed into a guiding center. Streets revived with trust and purpose. Merchants reopened routes once abandoned. People sensed stability returning home. Torquay strengthened defenses around Riyadh. Every tower guarded new ambition. Warriors trained with disciplined resolve. A resilient capital began taking shape. Families returned after years of chaos. Homes were restored with careful hands. Markets revived with quiet morning bustle. Life regained its long-lost rhythm. Torquay led with balanced strength. Justice shaped his decisions and policies. Najd respected his calm authority. Leadership became a source of peace. Riyadh emerged stronger than before, a beacon rising from desert hardship. Turkey's vision restored all Saud dignity. The second state began its rise. Najd stretched wide beneath burning skies. Tribes guarded lands with ancient pride. Torquay sought unity through careful strategy. Every alliance strengthened the growing state. Diplomacy opened long-closed tribal doors. Shared interests shaped new agreements. Old rivalries softened under negotiation. Words forged peace before swords did. Where diplomacy failed, warfare followed decisively. Battles unfolded across shifting dunes. Warriors rode with disciplined precision. Victory carried the state's expanding authority. Each conquest brought new stability. Captured forts secured vital trade. Local leaders pledged loyalty willingly. Order replaced years of wandering conflict. Riyadh stood firm as coordination center. Messengers traveled across vast distances. Torquay monitored movements with calm focus. His leadership unified scattered territories. Agricultural lands flourished under protection. Farmers returned to abandoned fields. Water systems were repaired and expanded. Life began to root itself strongly. Caravans crossed Nile with renewed confidence. Trade linked tribes into larger networks. Wealth flowed through revived market roads. Economic ties strengthened political unity. Central Arabia shaped a shared identity. People recognized Al Saud governance. Diplomacy and warfare built its foundations. The second state stood firmly established. Power brings unity, but also tension. Rival ambitions stirred within leadership. Princes sought influence over tribal loyalties. Uncertainty spread through Nile's alliances. Personal rivalries deepened political fractures. Small arguments grew into armed struggles. Families aligned with competing princes. The state strained under internal pressure. Battles erupted between royal factions. Riyadh witnessed sudden shifts in power. Princes clashed for rightful authority. Stability weakened with each confrontation. The people feared renewed fragmentation. Memories of collapse haunted many. Old wounds reopened across tribal lands. Confidence in leadership began to fade. Coalitions formed and dissolved quickly. Power moved like desert winds. Each change disrupted administrative order. Governance weakened across major regions. Some princes sought external alliances. Outsiders exploited Saudi divisions easily. Conflicts widened beyond internal disputes. The state's unity grew dangerously fragile. Economic networks suffered from instability. Trade routes faltered under constant fear. Merchants paused journeys through night. Uncertainty reshaped everyday life. Internal conflict overshadowed achievements. The second state struggled for cohesion. Riyadh faced mounting political exhaustion. Crisis edged closer with each dispute. Life in Najd moved with desert rhythm. Villages relied on slow seasonal cycles. Trade routes shaped community fortunes. Every journey measured survival and hope. Markets bustled with modest activity. Merchants sold tools, fabric, and grain. Imported goods arrived through long caravans. People valued simplicity and endurance. Agriculture depended on precious water. Wells defined fate of every settlement. Farmers cared for dates and small crops. Oases kept life anchored to land. Homes were built from mud walls. Courtyards centered daily family gatherings. Stories passed down through evening meetings. Tradition shaped identity across generations. Social life balanced honor and hospitality. Guests were welcomed with sincere respect. Tribal customs preserved ancient heritage. Community bonds remained strong and steady. Religious learning guided everyday behavior. Scholars taught principles with calm dignity. Mosques served as teaching and gathering places. Faith was woven into daily routines. Travel remained challenging for most. Journeys required planning and caution. Harsh terrain tested stamina and trust. Desert shaped character of its people. Despite hardship, Najd held resilience. Its culture endured through constant change. Economic life stayed humble yet stable. A society built on patience and faith. Rivalry with Al Rashid intensified steadily. Their strength grew across northern regions. Hyle emerged as a dominant force. Tensions spread through contested territories. Internal Saudi divisions weakened resistance. Princes disagreed in critical moments. Unified leadership became nearly impossible. Enemies exploited every internal fracture. Battles turned against Saudi forces. Rashidi fighters advanced with precision. Allied tribes shifted their loyalty. Najd felt pressure tightening quickly. Hal's armies pushed toward Riyadh. Villages braced for uncertain outcomes. Fear spread across central Arabia. The state's future hung in balance. A decisive confrontation sealed the fate. Saudi defenses collapsed under final assault. Rashidi power dominated the battlefield. Victory reshaped regional authority completely. Riyadh fell to all Rashid forces. Its leadership scattered into exile. Families fled towards safer territories. The Second State ended abruptly. Najd entered years of political uncertainty. New rulers imposed their firm control. All Saud influence nearly disappeared. A difficult era began unfolding, yet seeds of revival remained hidden. Exiled leaders carried hope forward. Defeat could not erase legacy. A future return waited in destiny. Desert wines whispered secrets of the coming dawn. Abdulaziz rode fiercely, youth burning in heart. Riyadh's walls loomed large against desert skies. Every alley held the promise of destiny. Tribal eyes watched the young leader approach. Silent streets echoed footsteps of bold determination. The emir's courage inspired both fear and hope. Victory seemed written in the shifting sands. Strategy guided every move with careful precision. Allies gathered, ready to reclaim their city. The ancient walls trembled beneath determined warriors. Every stone remembered battles of generations past. Riyadh's gates opened to the emir's command. A city reborn under the young leader's vision. Tribal banners waved, announcing new beginnings. Desert tribes whispered tales of emerging unity. Faith strengthened the resolve of every follower. Prayers rose beneath the glowing Arabian sun. Abdulaziz's bold action sparked hope across Najd. The city became the cradle of a nation. Desert plains stretched wide under blazing sun. Abdulaziz's banners moved swiftly across the sands. Tribes watched as his influence slowly spread. Unity became the goal of every campaign. Najd's valleys echoed with voices of loyalty. Allies joined him under a shared vision. Every tribe pledged allegiance to a rising state. The emir's strategy combined diplomacy and strength. Al-Asr's oasis became a key stronghold. Desert caravans carried news of his conquests. Trade routes flourished under his careful guidance. Loyalty grew stronger with each successful alliance. Asir's mountains tested the resolve of armies. The terrain challenged men and camels alike. Yet Abdulaziz's determination never wavered for long. Victory stitched the regions into a growing kingdom. Faith inspired every soldier on the march. Prayers rose before every desert battle began. The Equan followed, fierce and uncompromising in zeal. Their devotion fueled the emir's expansion across Arabia. Campaigns combined skillful warfare with careful diplomacy. Every conquered territory brought new challenges and tribes. Desert nights saw councils under flickering firelight. Plans were made to unite the fractured lands. Najd, Al-Asr, and Asir became connected. A vision of a united Arabian peninsula formed. Abdulaziz's reputation as a brilliant leader spread. Desert whispers carried stories of his rising power. By the campaign's end, loyalty was secured. Tribes once divided now looked toward a kingdom. The emir's dream of unity edged closer. Arabia's heart beat with anticipation and newfound hope. Desert wines carried whispers of approaching armies. Abdulaziz's forces moved steadily toward the Holy Lands. Mecca's minarets glimmered under the rising sun. Every street held centuries of faith and history. The Kaaba stood as the heart of devotion. Pilgrims' prayers filled the air with reverence. Abdulaziz approached with respect and careful strategy. The conquest balanced power with religious consideration. Medina awaited, city of the Prophet's legacy. Walls and gates watched the advancing emir. Faith and leadership intertwined in every decision. Soldiers moved with precision across the sacred land. Tribal alliances shifted to embrace the new rule. Leaders negotiated to ensure harmony and order. The Equan maintained discipline while honoring sacred spaces. Every act respected centuries of Islamic tradition. The holy cities now under unified governance. Security and administration strengthened across Hejaz. Trade routes reopened, connecting distant regions. Pilgrims journeyed safely under the emir's watchful eye. Abdelaziz's leadership merged political strength and faith. Religious scholars acknowledged his growing influence patiently. Hejaz became a cornerstone of the Saudi state. Desert dreams now touched the sacred Arabian heart. Celebrations spread as unity reached the Holy Lands. Citizens and pilgrims witnessed history in quiet awe. The emir's vision of a united Arabia advanced. Faith and power now walked together across the desert. From Najd to Hejaz, authority solidified steadily. Abdelaziz's campaigns reshaped the Arabian Peninsula's future. Every conquest reflected strategy, vision, and patience. The foundation for a kingdom of enduring legacy. The desert youth gathered under Abdelaziz's call. Fervent devotion fueled their loyalty and zeal. The Ikhwan rose as guardians of the state. Their purpose intertwined faith with fierce discipline. Tribal warriors transformed into a unified force. Desert camps echoed with chants and determined vows. Every follower pledged to uphold law and tradition. The emir's vision strengthened through their steadfast service. Borders expanded under the Ikhwan's vigilant watch. Najd, Hejaz, and surrounding lands joined the fold. Villages and towns came under steady governance. Peace and order grew, alongside disciplined religious zeal. Training and guidance shaped the Ikhwan's fierce resolve. They patrolled deserts and secured trade routes. Every mission reinforced the emir's authority and reach. The kingdom's foundation deepened through their devotion. Faith and military skill merged seamlessly together. The Ikhwan became both sword and guiding light. Abdulaziz relied on their strength for campaigns. Their presence cemented unity across the vast peninsula. Expansion moved steadily across the Arabian sands. Tribes once distant now pledged allegiance eagerly. Every region's loyalty strengthened Abdelaziz's growing state. The emir's dream edged closer with every conquest. The Ikhwan's influence touched social, political, and religious life. Communities adapted to new structures and guidance. Desert tribes felt the weight of organized governance. Yet respect and faith preserved traditional Arabian values. From Najd to Hejaz, the kingdom extended. The Ikhwan's devotion ensured borders remained secure. Abdelaziz's vision of unity reached new heights. Faith, loyalty, and discipline shaped a lasting state. The desert echoed with whispers of new beginnings. Abdulaziz stood ready to declare his unified kingdom. After decades of campaigns, alliances, and conquest, Arabia's heart finally beat as one nation. Borders drawn carefully across mountains and sands. Najd, Hejaz, and surrounding lands joined together. Tribal leaders bowed to a single authority. A modern kingdom rose from ancient desert roots. Faith guided every step of governance wisely. Laws and administration strengthened unity across regions. Citizens witnessed history unfolding under the bright sun. The emir's vision became reality in every town. The Ikhwan's loyalty ensured stability and peace. Trade, travel, and culture flourished under new rule. Mecca and Medina remained sacred centers of faith. Every citizen felt the pulse of a rising state. International recognition slowly embraced the Saudi kingdom. Diplomats acknowledged the emir's achievements and power. Abdelaziz's diplomacy balanced tradition with emerging modernity. Arabia's story now reached beyond desert horizons. Celebrations spread across cities and desert villages. Desert tribes honored the emir's lifelong vision proudly. The nation embraced unity, faith, and strength together. A kingdom's foundation solidified after years of struggle. Abdelaziz's name entered history's immortal corridors. Legacy carved from courage, patience, and unwavering ambition. Saudi Arabia stood as a beacon of hope. From desert sands, a modern state emerged strong. The kingdom's journey had only just begun. A ruler's dream became Arabia's enduring reality. Faith, power, and unity now defined the land. History remembered the moment when a kingdom was born. Desert sands hid a treasure beneath ground. In Dhahran, geologists struck black gold. The first gusher announced wealth and promise. Saudi Arabia's destiny shifted with every drop. Exploration teams worked under scorching Arabian sun. Pipelines stretched across the vast desert plains. Workers from distant lands joined in discovery. A small town became the heart of industry. Aramco rose, a symbol of progress and power. Contracts signed, visions for the nation expanded. Foreign experts guided early operations with care. Knowledge and technology flowed into Saudi Arabia. Local tribes watched as the desert transformed slowly. New opportunities arose alongside economic potential. Villages connected to jobs, services, and education. Hope grew alongside the newfound wealth of oil. Desert nights glimmered with lights of new machines. Every strike of oil echoed future prosperity. Abdelaziz's successors saw the kingdom's fortunes shift. Black gold promised change beyond imagination and borders. International attention turned toward the Arabian Peninsula. The world watched as Saudi oil shaped futures. Oil wealth became the lifeblood of development. Every barrel carried both hope and strategic value. From modest beginnings, a giant industry emerged. Dhahran became the cradle of modern economic power. The desert no longer only held sand and sun. It became the source of wealth and influence. Oil wealth flowed into every corner of Arabia. Desert towns transformed with schools and hospitals. Roads stretched far across empty, golden sands. Electric lights replaced stars in growing cities. Trade and commerce flourished with newfound prosperity. Families saw opportunities once impossible to imagine. Markets thrived as goods arrived from distant lands. Every citizen felt the pulse of economic change. Education expanded under government investment and vision. Universities rose where desert winds once blew freely. Young Saudis dreamed of careers and knowledge. The kingdom's workforce gained skill and ambition. Infrastructure projects connected the vast, scattered regions. Bridges, airports, and ports reshaped the desert landscape. Water systems and electricity reached faraway villages. Life in Arabia was transformed almost overnight. Oil revenues strengthened the royal treasury firmly. Governance could now implement reforms and modernization. The state wielded wealth as a tool of power. Every policy reflected the promise of progress. Social life evolved alongside rapid economic growth. Cities hummed with commerce, leisure, and culture. Traditions blended with modern conveniences carefully. Desert communities balanced faith, heritage, and innovation. International trade and foreign partnerships expanded quickly. Saudi Arabia became a key player in global markets. Every barrel exported reshaped relations across continents. Oil revenue brought both influence and responsibility. The Desert Kingdom entered an era of transformation. Wealth created opportunities, but also new challenges. Society adjusted to power and sudden abundance. The foundation for modern Saudi Arabia solidified steadily. King Saud inherited a kingdom of growing wealth. Challenges emerged alongside oil's vast, sudden fortune. Governance struggled to balance modernization with tradition. Political tension simmered behind palace walls quietly. Reforms were introduced to strengthen state institutions. Schools, hospitals, and infrastructure expanded rapidly. Yet inefficiency and personal ambitions caused friction. Royal family debates shaped the nation's destiny. King Faisal rose with vision and determination. He sought to streamline governance across the kingdom. Administrative reforms strengthened ministries and public services. Economic planning guided oil revenues with careful strategy. Conflict simmered between brothers over control of power. Court intrigues and shifting alliances defined political landscape. Loyalty of officials often determined by strategic choice. The kingdom watched as leadership tensions quietly unfolded. Faisal's vision emphasized modernization and religious guidance. Education, social policy, and state efficiency were priorities. He sought to balance tradition with emerging global demands. Every decision carried weight across the Arabian Peninsula. King Saud struggled to assert authority against growing challenges. His extravagance and indecision contrasted with Faisal's steady hand. The royal struggle became a test of governance. History watched as power gradually shifted toward reform. The nation experienced both growth and political uncertainty. Every reform sparked debate among tribes and ministers. Yet progress continued under the careful guidance of Faisal. Saudi Arabia navigated change while respecting faith and heritage. Through conflict, the kingdom matured into stronger governance. Lessons of leadership, compromise, and vision shaped the state. Abdelaziz's legacy endured as sons refined the nation. Internal struggle became a crucible for lasting stability. Global tensions rose as politics shook the world. Saudi Arabia wielded oil as a tool of power. Production cuts sent prices soaring across distant markets. The Desert Kingdom's influence stretched far beyond Arabia. Arab nations united to assert political and economic strength. Oil became a weapon in international diplomacy. Carefully, nations scrambled to adjust to energy scarcity quickly. Global economies trembled under the sudden price surge. King Faisal guided strategy with careful calculation. Decisions balanced religious duty and national interest thoughtfully. The embargo demonstrated Saudi Arabia's growing global clout. Every barrel exported now carried political significance. Diplomatic channels buzzed with negotiation and strategic planning. Leaders around the world sought dialogue and compromise. Oil revenues strengthened Saudi Arabia's position internationally. The kingdom's voice commanded attention in distant capitals. Domestic support grew for assertive foreign policy decisions. Citizens recognized the kingdom's emerging global importance. National pride intertwined with control over vital resources. Every success reinforced unity and national confidence. The embargo reshaped alliances, trade, and energy strategy. Western dependence on Saudi oil became unmistakably clear. Political influence now accompanied unprecedented economic power. Arabia's desert sands held leverage over distant nations. The world's eyes turned steadily toward the kingdom. Saudi Arabia demonstrated strength through wealth and principle. Global markets adjusted to the emir's deliberate choices. Power and diplomacy walked together across desert sands. Skyscrapers rose where desert winds once blew. Cities transformed with roads, bridges, and towers. Electric lights replaced the glow of stars. Modern life reshaped landscapes across the kingdom. Airports connected distant cities to the world. Trade and commerce flourished under careful planning. Ports expanded, welcoming ships from faraway lands. Every road linked towns, villages, and urban centers. Education grew with universities and technical institutes. Young Saudis gained skills for modern industry. Science, medicine, and engineering advanced rapidly. Knowledge flowed alongside wealth, shaping future generations. Water systems and electricity reached remote communities. Life improved for citizens across desert and mountains. Healthcare modernized with hospitals and trained doctors. Public services reflected a kingdom embracing progress fully. International relations expanded with diplomacy and strategic partnerships. Saudi Arabia became a key player globally. Embassies opened, fostering cooperation and understanding. The kingdom's voice gained respect in world affairs. Urban life thrived with cultural centers and museums. Traditions blended with modern amenities carefully. Parks, theaters, and libraries enriched social life. The desert's heritage remained visible amid change. Infrastructure projects symbolized ambition and national pride. Every project strengthened the kingdom's identity steadily. Airports, highways, and pipelines connected regions seamlessly. Modernization became the hallmark of Saudi progress. By the 70s, Saudi Arabia looked transformed entirely. Wealth fueled development, yet faith guided every choice. Cities pulsed with life, while deserts held history. The kingdom balanced modernity and tradition across generations. King Khalid ascended to the throne peacefully. The kingdom sought growth and national stability. Development projects spread across cities and deserts. Roads, schools, and hospitals transformed daily life. Urban areas expanded with careful, modern planning. Bridges connected towns, once separated by sands. Electricity reached villages previously left in darkness. Education and healthcare became central to national vision. Rural revenues funded infrastructure and public works. Agriculture and industry received new government support. Citizens saw tangible benefits of steady governance. The Desert Kingdom embraced progress with cautious optimism. Regional diplomacy remained a key focus for leadership. Alliances strengthened with neighboring Arab nations carefully. The kingdom's influence in the Gulf subtly expanded. Peace and stability guided Khalid's measured decisions. Projects reflected ambition, respected cultural traditions. The royal court balanced modernization with religious values. Every initiative aimed to secure long-term prosperity. Saudi Arabia began shaping its modern national identity. King Saud rose to lead a growing kingdom. He sought to codify governance through basic law. Modern institutions took shape under careful guidance. The kingdom balanced tradition with emerging global needs. Economic and social modernization advanced steadily and carefully. Highways, airports, and cities reflected new ambitions. Education and healthcare expanded across the desert lands. Citizens witnessed progress in daily life and opportunity. The Gulf War brought international attention and alliance. Saudi Arabia hosted coalition forces with strategic precision. Defense and diplomacy intertwined across desert and palace. Global partnerships strengthened security and regional influence. Basic law provided structure for governance and authority. It clarified powers of monarchy and ministries carefully. Reforms balanced conservative values with modern administration. Every policy reflected stability and measured progress. Urban development reshaped the kingdom's bustling cities. Electricity, water, and communication networks reached far. Skyscrapers and infrastructure symbolized national growth clearly. Modernization blended with heritage, faith, and culture simultaneously. International relations expanded with careful, strategic diplomacy. Saudi Arabia's voice echoed in global political arenas. Economic and military partnerships increased influence steadily. The Desert Kingdom commanded respect far beyond its borders. Every project strengthened the kingdom's modern identity. Government and society adapted to rapid changes carefully. Citizens balanced tradition with a new, emerging world. King Saud's era left a lasting, transformative legacy. The Grand Mosque shook the kingdom's quiet night. Gunfire echoed where pilgrims once prayed peacefully. A crisis struck, testing faith and leadership deeply. Saudi Arabia faced a turning point in history. Religious authorities gained greater influence in governance. Conservative interpretations shaped law and daily life. Education, media, and social norms became stricter. Faith-guided policies across cities and remote deserts. The state strengthened control over religious institutions carefully. Clerics advised on legislation, schools, and social practices. Balancing power and public safety became essential. Every decision reflected deep concern for tradition. Citizens adjusted to a new conservative atmosphere. Women, youth, and media faced stricter regulations. Religious devotion became intertwined with political authority. Faith and governance walked together across every desert town. Security forces monitored unrest while respecting sacred sites. Loyalty to the monarchy remained intertwined with religious duty. The kingdom sought stability after a shocking upheaval. Conservatism shaped society, reflecting lessons of 1979 carefully. Every mosque, school, and court reflected stricter norms. Public life adapted to a new conservative framework. Cultural shifts blended faith with political expectations steadily. Religious guidance became a cornerstone of national identity. The Grand Mosque incident left an enduring legacy. Faith remained central, shaping Saudi Arabia's social fabric. Governance and religion intertwined more closely than before. Conservatism guided policies, while balancing modernization cautiously. The Desert Kingdom watched tensions rise across borders. Iran and Iraq clashed in a bitter, costly war. Saudi Arabia balanced alliances with careful calculation. Every decision weighed regional stability and national interest. Oil and trade routes carried strategic importance clearly. The kingdom's economy depended on calm, secure borders. Diplomatic channels buzzed with negotiation and subtle influence. Every alliance reflected caution, foresight, and patience carefully. Saudi forces monitored security along vast desert frontiers. Military readiness remained crucial amid uncertainty and threats. Support for allies balanced with avoiding direct conflict. The kingdom navigated the war with strategic skill. Refugees and regional instability tested internal resilience. Humanitarian and social concerns demanded thoughtful response. Citizens watched as foreign turmoil affected Arabian life. Leadership emphasized prudence, faith, and careful decision-making. Shifting alliances required diplomacy, both subtle and firm. Relationships with neighbors evolved under complex political pressures. Saudi Arabia's influence grew as a regional mediator. Every move strengthened the kingdom's role in the Gulf. Economic consequences of war affected planning and trade. Oil exports remained key to domestic and foreign policy. The kingdom's stability contrasted with regional chaos clearly. Leadership guided society through turbulent, uncertain times. By the end, lessons shaped future foreign strategies. Saudi Arabia balanced faith, diplomacy, and national security. The Desert Kingdom emerged stronger despite external turbulence. History remembered these years as tests of resilience. The kingdom sought to reduce oil dependency carefully. New industries emerged alongside traditional energy wealth. Cities welcomed factories, commerce, and modern services. Employment opportunities grew for citizens across the desert. Education expanded to prepare youth for new careers. Universities trained engineers, doctors, and business leaders. Science and technology became central to national progress. Knowledge flowed as rapidly as desert sands shifted. Social changes reflected modernization and cautious adaptation. Women's roles slowly evolved within cultural and religious bounds. Healthcare, housing, and public services improved steadily. Urban life offered conveniences once absent in remote towns. Economic policies encouraged trade, investment, and diversification. Government initiatives supported agriculture, manufacturing, and tourism. The kingdom sought stability while planning for the future. Every project reflected careful, long-term national vision. Cultural initiatives blended heritage with modern influences carefully. Museums, theaters, and media expanded throughout major cities. Traditions continued to guide public life and values. Faith remained central amid evolving social and economic change. Infrastructure projects connected regions, boosting industry and mobility. Highways, ports, and airports transformed trade and travel. Communities benefited from electricity, water, and communication networks. The Desert Kingdom became a hub of regional progress. The 1980s and 1990s shaped Saudi Arabia's identity. Balancing modernization with faith and tradition remained crucial. Citizens experienced growing opportunities alongside careful governance. Economic diversification paved the way for a sustainable future. By the millennium, the kingdom looked toward new horizons. Social reforms unfolded alongside strategic economic initiatives. The desert state merged tradition with emerging modernity. Saudi Arabia entered the 21st century poised and ready. King Abdullah rose with vision for progress. Education became a central pillar of reform. Schools, universities, and scholarships spread widely. Youth embraced opportunities across the growing kingdom. Economic planning aimed to diversify wealth carefully. New industries complemented oil and energy revenues. Investment in technology and infrastructure accelerated development. Urban centers transformed under ambitious government projects. Social reforms reached communities across desert and mountains. Healthcare, housing, and public services expanded rapidly. Citizens felt tangible change in everyday life. The kingdom balanced tradition with measured modernization. Scholarships sent students abroad to gain knowledge. Research centers and universities strengthened national expertise. STEM education became central to Saudi Arabia's future. Skills and innovation flourished alongside desert traditions. Economic vision focused on sustainability and global partnerships. Trade, commerce, and foreign investment guided progress steadily. Government initiatives promoted long-term stability and growth. Every project reflected careful planning and strategic foresight. King Abdullah emphasized culture, heritage, and faith. Modernization did not compromise religious and societal values. Communities embraced development while honoring historical traditions. Social cohesion strengthened across urban and rural regions. Infrastructure projects transformed cities and connected remote towns. Roads, airports, and public transport reshaped daily life. Every initiative symbolized ambition for a modern state. The Desert Kingdom looked forward to a promising future through reforms, education, and economic strategy carefully. Saudi Arabia positioned itself for a global role. King Abdullah's era left lasting institutional foundations. The kingdom's vision stretched far beyond its borders. Women's education expanded across every city and town. Universities welcomed female students with new opportunities. Scholarships abroad prepared women for careers and leadership. Knowledge and ambition grew alongside the desert's vast sands. Vocational programs trained women in diverse modern fields. Healthcare, engineering, and business welcomed their expertise. Communities slowly embraced female participation in public life. Every classroom reflected hope for a brighter future. Civic engagement increased as women gained new rights. Participation in councils and advisory boards expanded slowly. Decision-making included voices long absent from governance. The kingdom carefully balanced reform with cultural traditions. Social attitudes shifted with education and awareness campaigns. Families supported daughters pursuing academic and professional goals. Every success inspired younger generations across Saudi Arabia. Faith and culture guided measured, progressive social change. Transportation reforms allowed women to travel independently safely. Mobility strengthened opportunities for work, study, and engagement. Public spaces gradually opened to female presence responsibly. The kingdom navigated cautious, historic social transformation. Media and literature highlighted women's growing achievements proudly. Stories of leadership, scholarship, and innovation inspired society. Cultural norms evolved while respecting heritage and faith. Every milestone reflected balance between tradition and progress. By the end of the decade, impact was tangible. Women's roles expanded in education, economy, and society. Opportunities grew steadily, laying foundations for future reforms. The kingdom embraced cautious, meaningful steps toward equality. Threats emerged from extremists across the region. Saudi Arabia strengthened defenses and intelligence networks swiftly. Security forces trained to protect citizens and borders. Every measure aimed to safeguard peace and stability. Counter-terror operations targeted networks threatening national safety. Coordination with international partners increased vigilance effectively. Intelligence shared carefully across borders to prevent attacks. The kingdom balanced security with maintaining civil life. Military readiness became a cornerstone of national policy. Desert bases and urban units strengthened strategic defenses. Border patrols monitored movement, ensuring desert regions' safety. Every decision reflected both caution and calculated planning. Regional diplomacy aligned with defense and security goals. Alliances formed to maintain stability across the Gulf. Saudi Arabia mediated disputes while protecting national interests. Influence extended through careful negotiation and strategic partnerships. Public awareness campaigns educated citizens on threats clearly. Communities cooperated with authorities to maintain domestic security. Faith and loyalty guided cooperation with state initiatives. Every citizen became part of national protective measures. Technology and infrastructure enhanced monitoring and rapid response. Airspace, ports, and critical sites were closely secured. Cyber and intelligence systems evolved to match new challenges. The kingdom adapted strategies as threats shifted globally. Through careful planning, the state maintained internal stability. Security policies balanced firmness with respect for faith. The nation endured regional turbulence with resilience and foresight. Saudi Arabia emerged safer, stronger, and strategically prepared. Waves of unrest spread across the Arab world. Saudi Arabia watched carefully, learning from neighbors' turmoil. The kingdom emphasized stability, order, and cautious governance. Leaders acted to maintain peace across deserts and cities. Public reforms addressed concerns of youth and citizens. Economic incentives aimed to prevent unrest and dissatisfaction. Social programs expanded opportunities for education and employment. Every initiative reflected a balance of caution and vision. Media monitored carefully, guiding public perception responsibly. Authorities promoted national unity and cultural identity steadily. Faith and tradition remained central to domestic messaging. Stability became the kingdom's primary priority during turbulence. Regional alliances strengthened to buffer external pressures effectively. The kingdom navigated shifting geopolitics with strategic foresight. Neighbors looked to Saudi Arabia for guidance and stability. Diplomatic efforts ensured security across the Gulf reliably. Internal policies strengthened governance and social cohesion quietly. Citizens felt reassurance through reforms and government programs. Economic growth continued despite regional unrest and uncertainty. Every measure aimed to preserve national order and unity. The monarchy emphasized dialogue alongside strategic enforcement carefully. Faith, tradition, and modernization guided all domestic decisions. Social harmony was maintained even as pressures persisted. Saudi Arabia emerged resilient amid regional upheaval's shadows. By addressing concerns swiftly and strategically, stability endured. The Desert Kingdom balanced reform with preservation of heritage. Lessons of the Arab Spring shaped future governance policies. Saudi Arabia's domestic foundation remained strong, secure, and steady. Cities rose with ambitious infrastructure megaprojects proudly. Skyscrapers, highways, and bridges reshaped urban and desert landscapes. Airports connected regions with speed and efficiency. Ports expanded, welcoming trade from across the world. Rail networks linked cities and industrial hubs efficiently. Electric grids powered homes, businesses, and industries steadily. Water systems reached remote villages, transforming daily life. Every project reflected careful planning and national vision. Technology parks emerged to drive innovation and research. Universities focused on science, engineering, and knowledge. Youth trained in skills to build the modern state. Innovation became central to the kingdom's strategic future. Mega-development projects attracted global investors and partnerships. Economic diversification reduced reliance on oil steadily. Industrial zones and business hubs flourished across regions. Every initiative reflected ambition, planning, and strategic foresight. Cultural and educational centers complemented modern urban planning. Museums, theaters, and libraries inspired civic engagement broadly. Heritage blended with innovation in every city carefully. Tradition guided modernization across every desert community. Knowledge-based industries became a cornerstone of long-term growth. Research, technology, and education expanded the kingdom's reach. Entrepreneurship flourished alongside government-supported innovation programs. Saudi Arabia's economy shifted toward skills, intellect, and creativity. Urban life transformed with modern housing and facilities. Citizens experienced improved healthcare, transport, and public services. Cities reflected ambition, progress, and a forward-looking vision. The kingdom balanced heritage, faith, and emerging modernity carefully. By 2015, Saudi Arabia stood modernized and ambitious. Infrastructure, knowledge, and vision defined the 21st century. The Desert Kingdom embraced global connectivity and strategic growth. A new era unfolded, blending tradition with future promise. Mohammed bin Salman rose swiftly to prominence. Youthful energy reshaped the kingdom's leadership structure. Decisions centralized authority under the crown prince. Every policy reflected ambition, vision, and determination. Reforms moved faster than decades of precedent. Ministries, councils, and agencies restructured efficiently. All power centers aligned with strategic national goals. The kingdom's administration strengthened under unified direction. Political shifts solidified the crown prince's influence clearly. Consultation with elders balanced with decisive action. Every decision weighed modernization, stability, and legacy. Authority now combined with vision for future generations. Public perception shaped through media and careful messaging. National priorities communicated widely to citizens and allies. Transparency in initiatives fostered trust and engagement. Every reform reflected a blend of courage and planning. Youthful leadership emphasized economic, social, and cultural change. Traditional structures adapted to the demands of modernity. Innovation, strategy, and governance intertwined in every project. The kingdom embraced decisive leadership in turbulent times. The royal court navigated challenges with calculated precision. Opposition, legacy, and caution balanced with strategic foresight. Every move reflected intent to secure national unity. Power and vision reshaped the kingdom's political landscape. Crown Prince MBS emerged as a defining figure. His rise symbolized a new era for Saudi Arabia. Decisions now reflected speed, ambition, and bold strategy. The Desert Kingdom entered a transformative period of governance. Vision 2030 promised transformation across every desert region. Ambitious projects reshaped cities, industry, and governance. NEOM rose as a symbol of futuristic development. Technology, sustainability, and innovation guided every decision carefully. Tourism opened to global travelers with strategic planning. Historic sites and deserts welcomed visitors from afar. Luxury resorts and cultural festivals reflected new ambitions. The kingdom embraced entertainment while respecting faith and tradition. Economic diversification reduced dependence on oil revenues. New industries in technology, finance, and logistics emerged. Private sector participation increased alongside foreign investment. Every initiative reflected careful planning and long-term vision. Cultural hubs promoted arts, media, and creative industries. Film, music, and sports events expanded across cities. Entertainment became a key part of national modernization. Opportunities grew for youth, entrepreneurs, and global partnerships. NIM showcased smart cities with cutting-edge infrastructure. Sustainability, AI, and innovation blended with desert heritage. The project attracted talent and capital from across the world. Every step reflected the kingdom's ambitious, forward-looking vision. Tourism, culture, and economy intertwined under Vision 2030. Saudi Arabia balanced faith, tradition, and modernity carefully. Economic transformation drove social progress and global engagement. The kingdom emerged as a hub of innovation and opportunity. By 2020s, Vision 2030 shaped national priorities clearly. Youth empowerment, economic diversification, and global positioning thrived. Desert landscapes became sites of modern industry and culture. The kingdom's future reflected ambition, planning, and bold imagination. Women gained the right to drive freely. Streets once silent now saw confident movement. Opportunities expanded across education, work, and society. Every step reflected progress and careful reform. Cultural spaces opened with concerts, cinemas, and events. Entertainment and arts flourished in major cities. Youth embraced new opportunities across technology and media. Every initiative balanced openness with heritage and faith. Women's participation in economy and governance increased steadily. Leadership roles and entrepreneurship grew across urban centers. Scholarships and training empowered young citizens fully. The kingdom's future reflected ambition and inclusive vision. Sports, arts, and festivals promoted national engagement proudly. Citizens enjoyed new freedoms alongside cultural and religious values. Traditional customs adapted to modern social life carefully. Every reform aimed to inspire, educate, and include. Youth became central to the kingdom's long-term plans. Innovation hubs, startups, and tech incubators thrived rapidly. Education aligned with Vision 2030's economic diversification goals. Every step reflected faith, culture, and forward-looking ambition. Social transformation emphasized balance between freedom and tradition. Families adapted to evolving opportunities and responsibilities gradually. Cultural openness encouraged dialogue, creativity, and civic participation. The Desert Kingdom embraced cautious, meaningful modernization fully. By 2020s, society had changed visibly and measurably. Women, youth, and creative industries drove national momentum. Saudi Arabia blended tradition, faith, and social progress. The kingdom entered a new era of opportunity confidently. Saudi Arabia projected influence across the Arabian Peninsula. Yemen war-tested military, diplomacy, and regional alliances. Coalitions formed with neighbors and global partners carefully. Every decision reflected security, strategy, and national interest. Relations with Iran shaped policy and cautious engagement. Tensions balanced with negotiation, intelligence, and strategic positioning. The kingdom monitored shifting alliances across the Gulf. Desert diplomacy guided every political and military step. Military operations combined air, sea, and ground strategies. Security forces coordinated closely with coalition partners. Border control and intelligence protected citizens and infrastructure. Every action emphasized national safety and regional stability. Global influence grew through strategic partnerships and diplomacy. Saudi Arabia engaged with the United States, Europe, and Asia. Oil, trade, and political alliances reinforced kingdom's global role. Every initiative reflected ambition, foresight, and strategic thinking. The Yemen conflict tested resources, leadership, and public support. Humanitarian considerations balanced with military and political goals. The kingdom navigated complex regional dynamics with care. Every challenge reshaped Saudi Arabia's foreign and defense policy. Relations with neighbors emphasized mediation and influence subtly. Diplomacy and strategy maintain the kingdom's leadership position. Power projection reflected careful planning and calculated decisions. The desert state emerged as a regional and global actor. By the mid-2010s, Saudi Arabia held growing sway. Military, economic, and diplomatic tools strengthened national authority. Every policy aimed at stability, influence, and long-term goals. The kingdom defined its role in a complex world. Saudi Arabia balanced heritage with ambitious modernization carefully. Faith and tradition remained central to national identity. Skyscrapers rose alongside ancient mosques and desert landscapes. Every city reflected continuity and transformation simultaneously. Global engagement reshaped economy, culture, and diplomacy steadily. Trade, tourism, and investment connected the kingdom widely. Youth embraced technology, innovation, and creative opportunities. Every citizen felt the pulse of change clearly. Women's empowerment symbolized broader societal transformation gradually. Education, careers, and civic participation expanded confidently. Cultural openness merged with respect for historical values. The kingdom navigated progress while honoring enduring traditions. Art, media, and entertainment flourished across urban centers. Cinemas, concerts, and festivals marked a new era. Heritage and innovation blended in public spaces thoughtfully. Every initiative reflected global awareness and national pride. National identity balanced modernization with religious principles firmly. Faith guided policy, law, and social expectations carefully. Globalism expanded opportunities while respecting cultural roots. Every citizen experienced the evolving spirit of the kingdom. Cities showcased infrastructure, technology, and visionary architecture. NEOM, Red Sea projects, and smart cities emerged boldly. Innovation hubs became centers of research and entrepreneurship. The desert transformed into symbols of ambition and vision. The kingdom defined itself as both traditional and modern. Youth, women, and global engagement shaped collective identity. Saudi Arabia embraced the 21st century with confidence. Every reform reflected balance, ambition, and cultural continuity. By the 2020s, the kingdom reimagined its global presence. Tradition and modernity coexisted in society and governance. Faith, culture, and innovation guided every step forward. Saudi Arabia's identity evolved, strong, proud, and visionary. From Diriyah's mud brick forts rose enduring power. Desert sands witnessed centuries of struggle and triumph. Futures were imagined amid harsh, golden landscapes. Every stone and pathway echoed stories of resilience. Futuristic cities now rise across the desert horizon. Skyscrapers, technology, and innovation blend with heritage. Oil, commerce, and diplomacy connect Arabia globally. Every initiative reflects vision, ambition, and progress. Faith remains central, guarding Mecca and Medina faithfully. Tradition guides policies even in a modern world. Religious stewardship balances influence with global expectations. Every prayer and ritual echoes across the kingdom. Lessons from 3 Saudi states shaped national identity. Unity, leadership, and vision endured through centuries. Transformations reflected strategy, resilience, and cultural continuity. Every generation contributed to the kingdom's evolving story. The Desert Kingdom became a power with global reach. Influence spans diplomacy, economy, culture, and energy. History continues as Saudi Arabia writes its next chapter. Every choice today shapes the promise of tomorrow. Join the journey through Saudi Arabia's unfolding story. Explore heritage, modernity, and vision across desert landscapes. Witness how faith, culture, and ambition intertwine daily. Subscribe and follow to discover more stories of empires. Experience the kingdom's transformation, past, present, and future. Every chapter invites you to learn, reflect, And imagine,